So I was wrong in one of my recent episodes here, and I wanted to apologize. I'm sorry. I had a episode that I just put out that had something to do with David Goggins, where I basically said that I saw a short from David Goggins, and what I pulled away from it, and I still think what I said about the short is correct. Essentially, what I had pulled away from it is that there are people out there that I know and that David Goggins sort of implied he did, but he doesn't actually, where essentially you set a goal for yourself, and then it generates fear that you're never going to be successful, and then you essentially outrun that fear. And I was sort of under the impression that that's actually how David Goggins approached his life. That's not true at all. I ended up watching his Joe Rogan episode because I was just bored and wanted to listen to it, and that's not remotely, as far as I understand, that's just one side of the coin. There's a lot more nuance there. And instead, it's actually like, no, the dude spent his whole life living in fear until he just decided to become a fear slaughterer and started just looking at everything that made him scared. And he just ran headfirst into it. And I didn't realize that because I didn't know that he was actually focusing on overcoming fear, in addition to doing that as a consequence of not wanting to be a failure and instead wanting to be successful. Like, I just thought he was just running away from fear, and I wasn't aware that there was more to it. I'm apologizing because I got something wrong, but I'm also apologizing because it's a broader topic that I wanted to mention, because we live in an information age where people make mistakes and they get their lives destroyed. You know what I mean? I actually had thought about just deleting the video, but then I kind of thought about it and was like, here's the thing though. Like, I still think that what I said in the video about that framework stands, but I also feel like I know I was like factually wrong once I did some more research, but I think it's interesting because like we have, as consumers of content and media, we tend to think that everything everybody says is actually just automatically correct, but we also are so quick to just shut people down with things. And people make mistakes and their entire career's over. I mean, like, there's the PewDiePie at the bridge moment. I mean, there's like these moments where things happen and people apologize for things and stuff like that, but I think that it's unfortunate because there is an unbelievable lack of apologetic behavior from people on the internet. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's actually really unauthentic personally. Like, if you watch a person or you have there's a content creator, just anything, it doesn't matter what it is, where somebody says something and they get something wrong, the standard is just to double down and to just kind of like, instead of saying, no, I was wrong, I'm sorry, because I think there's this implication that if you say you're sorry, you're weak. And it's like, I don't know where that started, but it should end, like if you say something and you're wrong, or you say something and find out you're wrong later, the current culture essentially just says you're not allowed to say you're sorry or apologize. Now your life's over. And this isn't the same kind of thing as like making a mistake that gets you canceled, although that's a part of it. Like, cancel culture is a part of it. But I'm specifically talking about the fact that people will make mistakes online when they say something, or they cite a quote that isn't correct or something like that, and instead of apologizing, they just kind of dodge it and stuff like that. For me, I just feel like being wrong is part of human nature, and it's just part of the human experience. And it's like, and if we like look at our mistakes and we try to improve, like the idea that we make mistakes and try to improve, I don't know when the entire internet decided to just become super insecure and just go, we don't make mistakes. But as just a whole mass, the entire internet just sort of started doing this, whether it came from Twitter or Reddit or YouTube or wherever, I don't know. But I'm just like tired of it. Like, if someone makes a mistake, they can apologize, and I don't think that we have to just kind of like, we don't just delete old tweets, if that makes sense. Like I said, I could have deleted the video where I misquoted an understanding about David Goggins and his character. I chose not to do that. I just said, you know what? I'm going to come up and apologize instead and make a broader point that like making a mistake isn't the end of the world. As long as we own our mistakes and we move on, I think it's okay. And the world needs to move, I think, towards a direction of like everybody being willing to make mistakes as long as we learn from them. If I like immediately came out and lied on the next thing, then it's like, okay, well, that's a reflection on my character. And I think that the internet has become so glamorous. Like, it's all trying to be like Mr. Beast or like all super, super like perfect, like like it dehumanizes the human experience to this point of just being all fake. And we can't have mistakes be made in that culture. Like Mr. Beast videos don't have mistakes. You know what I mean? It's like, I just don't think that that's a. I think it's caused a lack of authenticity and a lack of connection because we're just kind of all pretending that we're perfect when we're really not, and it's having a really broad effect on the internet at this point.